but I got it.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for members of the committee for inviting us to speak today from PROHIBIT. My name is Kenny Wallis. I'm basically a local activist here in the state. I have a YouTube account called Keep Arkansas Legal, where I've dealt with this issue among many others for several years. I first want to mention that I passed out a letter from Donald Trump's office regarding the issue of sanctuary cities. I believe that letter is available to all the senators. It basically states that some of the problems regarding the sanctuary policies and how they are a clear present danger to the United States of America. Sanctuary policies, for those who don't know, and to clarify again, is an act where an illegal alien is arrested for a crime. They are detained, and instead of being turned over to immigration to be deported, they are instead released to cause more harm to the public. And we actually have seen instances, such as the K-Stein case and others, where innocent people have been harmed and killed because of this very policy. It is regarding the issue. I'm going over several aspects of the issue. Regarding the issue of this being a federal issue, the federal government has dropped the ball on this. They were supposed to have secured the border during the 86-87 amnesty, and obviously they did not do that. We have what's known as the deep state in Washington, D.C., and they have not built the wall. They have not secured the border. They were still trading with what's essentially a narco state of Mexico, which is where the politicians are bought off by the cartels. And that's not my opinion. That's actually during the trial of El Chapo, who said he has bought off the current president of Mexico. They've cracked the crack, heroin, and fentanyl epidemics. We don't need more of that here than we already have. The federal government has failed in regards to the Internal Revenue Service. They recently paid $46 million to one address in Atlanta, and it turns out that was, of course, going to illegal aliens. So we hear that one of the excuses for illegal immigration supporting is that they pay taxes. Well, in fact, they receive refunds and oftentimes with fraud. Illegal immigration, according to the Federation for American Immigration Reform, that focused more on Arkansas. And as of 2010, K-12 education, our money was invested in terms of $129 million. I use the term loosely invested because I know it's an excuse to support in-state tuition for illegal aliens, but in fact, our money was not invested. Arkansas did not invest money into undocumented or DACA or illegal aliens. Our money was taken by educators and illegally, basically, funding schools that are now in fiscal distress. We can't afford this. We can't afford illegal immigration now, and we certainly don't need to with sanctuary cities. I want to kind of focus this a little more on some more local issues that have recently happened. On YouTube, there's a famous video of Luis Sinovio, 29, who was pulled over in Honeytown in Washington County and nearly killed a deputy by pulling out his gun and shooting him. He drives off and eventually is later on captured. In the documentary Meth Storm USA, at the beginning of that, which I urge everybody to watch, it shows a little red hatchback being chased by police and crashing. And later on in that documentary, it shows that person is also an illegal alien smuggling meth, I believe in Clinton, Arkansas. It's an HBO documentary called Meth Storm USA. I urge everybody to watch that. And to make this even more personal for me, with my house, and this is a story by KTV that came out and mentioned of arrest February 8th, 2018. At the address of 2100 Osage Drive, as I mentioned there, they had to miss it. They had 4 different meth busts that occurred over the course of several years at this address. This address is less than a mile from my house. It's within walking distance of Indian Hills Elementary School. So it's almost right near the playground. The story was said that there was another neighbor who said he had to stop people from stopping at his house who thought it was their drug house. It wasn't a drug house. And then I remember the story when they started talking about Little Rock and all this community and involvement and communication. The Troy's nightclub was raided by ICE in, I believe, July of last year for like 12 illegals detained there for selling liquor to minors. And I don't know what other charges were pending from that story, but just kind of glanced by it. I do remember that Arkansas United Community Coalition, when they made their statement about, they were more concerned about the civil rights and liberties of those that had been detained. And so this idea that somehow we have to have these sanctuary policies or allow the possibility of sanctuary policies so that we can have communication with a community. Well, I'm sorry, but if that's the price for your communication to the community, that price is just too high. We can't afford this. We can't have another Kate Stanley. We can't have another Molly Tibbetts. Not in this state. We can't have another, Seguin Durden. And unless it's, also, I do want to clarify one other thing. There is a difference between legal immigrants and illegal aliens. The Rockefeller study is a fraud in that it doesn't bother to do that. Unlike Federation for Immigration Reform and Numbers USA and Center for Immigration Studies, a lot of these studies that indicate that they deliberately mix legal immigrants with illegal aliens. Okay, my mom is an immigrant. Seguin Durden, whose son was killed by an illegal alien from Guatemala and currently resides in Arkansas, is an immigrant. Illegal aliens, those who overstay their visas or just cross the border, or who are given DACA status and haven't even bothered to apply for citizenship as someone that testified for the in-state tuition for illegals bill, those are illegal aliens. There's a difference between the two. And we the people are tired of it. We were tired of this notion of having open borders and chaos during the time of our independence. In the Declaration of Independence, it mentions the Indians that one of the things the British were doing, in addition to taking away our guns and overtaxing us, is they were leaving the borders open and allowing a chaos named by Native Americans to attack the colonists. And that's why it's mentioned in the Declaration of Independence, that Savage's statement there. So we don't want this. There's no nation that does this. To simply allow just random, crime to just go unfettered over and over again. It's not America. It's not even civilized. And again, there's no nation where you can sneak into the country, commit multiple crimes, and then not be deported, and then be released and to commit more crimes. And so I urge the support for SB 411. Pass this out of committee, get it to the Senate, and let's get something done to at least do some part in dealing with illegal immigration. I will entertain any questions as best as I can answer.
Thank you. Questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Next to speak against the bill, Nora Venus.